It's a great day in South Carolina. This is Karen with Xanadu Muse, and welcome to my channel. I've been working on a 2019 mixed media calendar. I've been trying to do a page once a month, but I'm a little bit behind. Just to catch up, here's January's, and February's, and March, April, May's, and June's. I'll be showing you process for April, May's, and June. So let's hop into the April page. I took some lyrics from popular songs or poems about rain, and I typed it up in Word, printed it, and I was tearing it up, and I'm going to collage it down on the page. You can see that brown marks, that was from March's mistakes, but it's going to be covered up, so it's no big deal. So here I am just covering it up. I got this matte medium at Walmart for $3.97. I think that's a good deal, so keep an eye on it if you need matte medium and I don't want to spend 20 bucks for it. Here I am just trimming it up so it will not go over the page. I think I made a boo-boo here, so I had to fix it. Here I am taking gesso and just covering the page so it would put the words farther back in the background. Now I am taking some paints from Jane Davenport, mainly the blues, and covering up the page. I wanted the center to be sort of light while the edge to be a little bit darker, so that's why I tried the gesso. My gesso is a very weak gesso. It came from AC Moore and I've owned it for like 10 years, so it's probably not in the best condition. So this is my sketchbook. I like to sketch pictures that I will be using in the future, and this is one that I was inspired by a coloring page. So I'm taking tracing paper and I'm putting it on top of it, and I'm outlining it with a red marker. The reason I use red is because I'm going to trace over it again with a black ballpoint pen, and it's easier to tell where I've been if I use red instead of black. So I flipped it over and I'm coloring it in with a pencil. I'm just making graphite paper pretty much. And after that, I'm going to flip it back over and put it on a piece of one of those document pages. Here I am tracing it with that black ballpoint ink pen, and then I'll be cutting it out. I didn't want to put it directly onto the paint because the paint is kind of translucent, and I did not want the blue to show up, so I put it on one of the Word document pages, and I believe I used gesso to lighten the word skin. When I was tracing over it with the ballpoint pen, the graphite on the side, on the back side, transfers onto the page. That's the whole purpose of it. Now I'm gluing it back to the page, and I'm putting that medium on the entire thing, so the coating would be the same, and so I'd have a non-porous background on everything. And this is where I did use the gesso to line it up, and I'm trying to blend it into the background so it does not look like there's an extra piece. Then I brought back the paper, the tracing paper, and I'm adding the details with the ballpoint pen, transferring the graphite onto the Word document. Now I'm just darkening up the lines so I know where to paint when I am ready to paint. Apparently, I did not have any Jane Davenport black and white paint, so I had to use Diane Reevely's, and the rest of the products were Jane Davenport. I used a black liner pen with her faces line, and the other one is with her regular line. Here I am just filling in the pages. I'm just trying to make the umbrella once again like light in the center, and that's why I've been fiddling with it. But I'm just pretty much coloring in a coloring page. Trying to make a shadow on the background or at the ground so it looks like our little girl was not floating. It didn't turn out so great, but it worked out in the end. I had to do some touch-ups around the girl, and then I added some bubble paint spotters on the background to represent rain. I'm doing air quotes like you could see me. Anyway, this is a Martha Stewart stamp set, I believe, and it didn't stamp so great, so I had to individually do the stamps. I think I got these at Walmart a long time ago, and I actually have two sets, so if I need double letters, I have enough for it. I'm now taking that liner pen and I'm outlining the details. I just love to outline my stuff. I know some people like to stay away from it, but I'm not one of those that likes to stay away from it. I actually prefer an outline. I remember when I was in art class, I was like in elementary school, and the teacher said either use black or use the darker version of your crayon. I thought black was silly, so I always used the darker version, and then as I got older, I could see the value of using black. So here it is, April's page. This is like a two-part. April showers brings May flowers. And then we're going to go on to May. I'm going to tell you, I hate May. I don't actually hate the page itself, but I have done May so many times, that I began to hate it because I'm tired of looking at it. Please excuse how fast May's is, but I'm so tired of it that I fast forward it. So, background paint. That's pretty much it. And then I did some stamping, and I did some brown paint splatters, white and white splatters. That's pretty much it. It was nothing, scientific about it. And I'm off camera for most of this time. Now I'm taking a stamp and I'm cutting out these faces. And they're going to be turned into flowers. And then I decided to stamp some birds and add some birds. That's a Martha Stewart bird. I don't know where this bird is from. So I wrote down the words, it brings May flowers, because last time I misspelled it. So here I'm trying to decide where I want the flowers to be. I hand cut out some petals from book pages, and I'm just gluing those down. And I'm deciding how I like it best. Trying to do some texture in here. I don't know why. She swallowed a fly. Wah, 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 wah. It turns out I like curling the tips better, like I just did right there. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best looking flower. And here I try to put some book page stems on there. Was not happening. I ended up using black cardstock. That worked so much better. I'm still trying to fiddle with it, trying to make it work. It ain't gonna happen. I've used art glitter glue to glue these pages. You can use tacky glue, Elmer's glue, it doesn't matter. There's the black cardstock. It's much improved. And I don't know why I kept going off screen. I think it's because I was frustrated with the thing. I do have a oops video coming out, and it's going to show you the entire process of me repainting or me recovering this up several times. And I ended up going back to the original with the second part, a mix between those two. I probably should have stayed with the original to begin with, but I didn't. This is probably my second favorite stamp, by the way. My first favorite one is the one that you stamp on the back of your creation, like for cards, and it's handmade with love, and then you write your name in. That's the one I use the most, and this is the one I use the second most, oddly enough. I'm going to be rearranging the letters, and some of this got out of camera, so I cut it off. I colored the birds with Prisma pencil. You'll see it in a minute. And then I'll be coloring the bottom with a Prisma pencil. And it wasn't working very well, but it's okay. So there's the birds already colored in. And this is the part where I wish I grabbed that Stabilo pencil out of my hand and said, no, 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 don't do it. But I did it. And I ruined it. But I wasn't going to do it over again. I did okay with the flowers. It's highlighting brings May flowers. And as you will see as the video progresses, I had to redo quite a few of those letters, excuse me. But since it was a punch and not a stamp, it was easier to cover back up. you'll see this is where I decide, like, yep, you made a boo-boo. So I'm trying to cover it up with white paint. Wasn't happening, and then some blue paint. And then I painted over the letters. And here I am adding the new letters back on without paint. And here is the finished outcome. And if you want to see all my oopses, please check out the video. Okay, here's June's page. I got so tired of May, I decided to do easy peasy June. So I wet the paper, I slapped paint on it. Watercolor paint, by the way. It's a Koi watercolor, I think it's the 24 one. And I'm just moving the paint around and slapping the 3 greens. They have 3 greens in this set. And then I will be adding some plastic wrap on top of it in just a moment. When I pull the saran wrap off, you're going to get the reveal at the same time I did. So here's my sketchbook again, and I'm looking for my peacock page. And I'm once again going to do the tracing paper transfer technique, and there is my red marker, and I'm tracing it out. And then there's the pencil making graphite paper again. And there I am taping it down so it doesn't move on me with washi tape. And there's my ballpoint pen transferring the pencil onto my page. This one was such an easy peasy one. I've drawn this peacock many times, so I decided to give my little artsy brain a break. And you can see some of the pencil line on there, so I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to outline it. Here I am, free drawing 2 more trees, because it's always more pleasing to the eye when things are in odd numbers. And here I am just doodling with a Sharpie marker. I got this inspiration from a magazine, well, several magazines, because it was an ad and it showed up. It was for embroidery, I think. I don't remember what they were trying to sell, but I always liked it, and I've recreated this many times. One reason I decided to do a voiceover instead of explaining as I went along is because I've been watching Criminal Minds. 2.5 weeks I have watched up to season 4. So I won't get copyrighted, I removed the sound. don't know if you caught on that I changed from a thinner marker to the fatter marker for the bird. I outlined the trees and the bird with the thick marker, then doodled with the thinner marker until I got to the bird wings, and then I'm going to go back to the thinner marker to do the chest of the peacock. By the way, that Roku remote, I keep losing it. So keep an eye out for it for me. Because I keep having to unplug the Roku when I want to turn Criminal Minds off. Usually this pattern's a little bit tighter, but since I didn't make it a little tighter, I decided to make the lines a little bit bolder. And I did not finish the tail of this bird. I did not color in the little ovals. Here, you can see where the ovals are colored in, so I went back and finished it, but it wasn't on camera. So I hope you enjoyed April, May's, and June's calendar. I already have July's planned out. Well, that's a wrap for April, May, and June. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making each page. Well, maybe May not so much. I think it turned out pretty good, but I just got tired of looking at it. Until next time, stay calm and art journal on.